Welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are joined again by Bryce Talks Metal.
What's up? Got my chocolate milk ready to go.
He's got his chalky milk ready to
Yeah.
do a list video today. And today is a bit of a strange one. We are doing bands who got better with age, or bands where the best album is one from the fifth onwards. I know you have a different take with your list, so just explain your one.
Yeah, so basically it's kind of the same. Bands whose best album came after they were well established is what I'm doing. So I chose 10 and I ranked them from my least favorite to my favorites. For mine, I think it's all like after the fifth album are these albums from the band. But yeah.
Nice. Mine's a bit different because most of my favorites from these bands that I'm going to mention is the fifth album. So there's a bit, maybe I'm a bit cheating on my one, but fuck it. It's not the first, it's not the second, it's not the third. Fifth is still quite a bit into someone's discography. So
yeah,
I'll let Bryce kick it off with his number 10.
All right, so mine's a little bit of a weird pick. It's somebody I saw in concert, and he was the guitarist of my favorite band of all time. I'm talking about his solo career, Marty Friedman, and I'm going to go with the album Inferno from 2014. It came out, I believe, or 2014, 2015. It's like over 10 albums in. He had like 10 solo albums before this, but this one is just amazing to me how he can keep coming up with such freaking memorable melodies and riffs and just amazing stuff. The title track on this album, there's a really cool music video I highly recommend anyone to go check out. Just shredding all over the place, an absolute shred machine. There's some more melodic, like slower parts to the album as well. Of course, Marty's into that stuff as well. But yeah, amazing album here. Inferno, my first choice.
That's a good pick. And you said, is that the 10th, did you say?
It's like over 10 albums in. He has
a
ton of great solo albums. The first one, it's really between that one and the first one for me. Dragon's Kiss came out in 1988. But I think I prefer this one a bit more. So
it's good. So that counts for the list. So before we did my list, I thought we were doing bands rather than albums. So mine would be bands, but I'll mention the album, which is my favorite as well. So it keeps some kind of consistency. So my number 10 is going to get everyone pissed off because I know there's a lot of people who will argue with this one. And I'm picking Iron Maiden. My favorite Iron Maiden album is Power Slave, and that's the fifth album. And then I think they get like the stretch from Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and Seventh Son. Those kick the shit out of the first one. I'm sorry, but those three albums to me are the power trio. Somewhere in Time's flawless, Seventh Son's flawless, Power Slave. Those are like the magic trio for me. And this is a bit of cheating because sure they got kind of worse after, but then I think they got better again. Brave New World to now, but I still love that power trio, and I think it counts but this is a band where the first ones are still amazing. So this isn't me shitting on the early ones because Iron Maiden don't really have too many stinkers. So all the early ones before Power Slave are still amazing. But for me, from the fifth onwards, that stretch, so good. So yeah, back to you.
Yeah, I might be talking about that in a little bit here, but good choice. So with my number 9, I'm going to go with the 1997 album by a classic new wave of British heavy metal band, and that is Saxon with Unleash the Beast. Of course, those original albums, they had like a really good stretch there from like 80 to 83 up through Power and the Glory. And then it dropped off a little bit after that. I mean, Crusader's pretty good as well. But and then starting with that 97 album, Unleash the Beast, all the way up through 2007's The Inner Sanctum, all killer, dude. Like all that stuff. I could almost choose any of those as my favorite, but I really like Unleash the Beast. A couple of favorites on there I got are the title track, Bloodletter, which might be my favorite Saxon song of all time, and Cut Out the Disease. But top to bottom, I did rank that one my number 1 album of 1997 a while back, like maybe like a month or two ago when I did that list. But freaking killer stuff. Unleash the Beast by Saxon, my number 9.
That's a good pick. I didn't think about that because some of those later albums are amazing, but mainly people talk about the first couple, don't they? So yeah.
I feel just stupid drinking that chocolate milk like that.
Fuck, he's gonna stab me after this video, so watch out. R.I.P. Questy in the chat. My next one, my number 9, is Nile. Now, another controversial pick because a lot of people love the early, more death metal centered Nile with Amongst the Catacombs, which I love, and Black Seed of Vengeance, which is awesome. But for me, my favorite album is the fifth one, Those Whom the Gods Detest. And I think from then onwards, they just got more technical, more interesting. They were still good, back in the day, but I think they're more interesting now. And Vile Nilotic Rites, which is what the shirt I'm wearing is just so fucking good. I know there's so many cool technical parts in that album, and there's a song about Mark Antony, and I love Rome, so fuck it. So I love Nile. I think they got better as time gone on, so that is my number 9, Nile.
Nice. So I haven't really gone through the discography that much, but I did see them open for Overkill in like
Jelly
2018, 2019. It's kind of a weird bill because they don't really fit super well together.
Nile and Overkill. That's stupid.
It's kind of weird, but it was pretty good. It's pretty good. So my number 8, I'm going to go with the 2004 album by another really classic band. I did just rank their discography. We've got 22 albums, and you did it as well.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Motorhead, Inferno from 2004. Love this album. So many amazing riffs from Phil Campbell. Whole band's on fire. Lemmy sounds great. Mickey D on the drums is a freaking machine. Some of the best songs on it: Terminal Show, Killers, In the Name of Tragedy. Really, as I said, my favorite Motorhead album, and just super killer stuff. Inferno.
I can't remember. I know my favorite's Another Perfect Day. I don't know where that lies in the discography. Is that in the top
that
5?
One is like the 6th album, I think. So
I could have
debut. Yeah, it's like the 6th album, I think.
Yeah, debut, Ace of Spades, Bomber,
Overkill.
Iron Fist. Oh yeah,
Overkill, Iron Fist. So it's like the 5th or 6th album.
So that's another one I could have picked, like Saxon, and yeah.
So they're just they're a super consistent band, like all the way through. I love that early stuff too. I'm really close to thinking Overkill's my favorite album by them, but
feels good.
I usually go to Inferno when I want to listen to them.
That's a good pick. I didn't even think about that, and I just fucking ranked them. Mm-hmm. Okay. So my next one's a bit different. My next one's prog. It's the Ocean Collective. I don't know if you know these guys. So it's a prog band, and I just think every album just gets better and better and better. And I think the latest album, it was like a double album, the Ocean Phanerozoic 1, Paleozoic, Mesozoic, whatever the fuck it's called. It's about the dinosaur times. And they kind of, each album has like a concept, but for me, the latest 3 albums have been the best. The double album, which came out last year and I think 2 years ago, which Paleozoic 1 was my album of the year when it came out. And this one almost made it into my album of the year for last year. So that's how good these new albums are by the Ocean Collective. And I hate that the names are so long. It's like Inquisition. They do it on fucking purpose. Phanerozoic 1, Paleozoic, Mesozoic. Like who the fuck is going to say that? But yeah, super interesting melodies, cool concept. They even had a fossil named after them recently, which I thought was pretty fucking cool. But yeah, if you like that nerdy kind of stuff, nerdy prog, then the Ocean Collective is for you. And I think they got better with time, so that's my next pick.
Awesome. I might have to check those guys out. Maybe not. I don't know.
If you like prog, I don't know what you'd like or not.
We'll see. So I think I fucked up my list a little bit here, but I'm gonna move this out of the way because I didn't write them down. But my number, we're at 7 here, is gonna be Scorpions with Love at First Sting from 1984. Now this one, not sure exactly. Side boob right there. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what album this was in their discography, but it's like 7 in, because a lot of their 70s stuff as well is really good with Uli John Roth on guitar, Michael Schenker. But I really like Matthias Jabs, who was like the third guy they had on guitar, and the whole band was just firing all cylinders at this point, and really just super consistent. Great album here. Bad Boys Running Wild, Rock You Like a Hurricane. I don't need to hear that anymore, but it is a really big, popular, good. Still. It's a good song, yeah. I'm Leaving You's great. Coming Home, Same Thrill is just shredding all over the song by Matthias Jabs. Big City Nights, which is like my second favorite Scorpion song of all time. Amazing opening riff. Yeah, great album here. So that is my number 7.
Good pick. Didn't think about the Scorpions as well. That's another good one. All right. So my next one has an album out next week. It's Cannibal Corpse.
Oh,
nice. A lot of people love the early era with Chris Barnes, Tomb of the Mutilated, Butchered at Birth. What's my favorite one? The Bleeding. And my favorite one is the 4th one, but that outlier, I think they got better over time since then. Since Corpse Grinder came in, I think their albums have just been consistently amazing. I'm not a big fan of Butchered at Birth and Tomb of the Mutilated. A lot of people love them, but I think it's a bit too gritty. I like the more heavy, stuff like Kill, Evisceration, Plague is kind of doomy. Torture has just so catchy riffs, and the new one sounds fucking insane. So I think Cannibal Corpse is a band that's just getting better and better, and I prefer Corpse Grinder to Barnes. 6 Feet Under stuff, yeah, we can joke about that all day, but Corpse Grinder, the neck himself, is better.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck it, Cannibal Corpse.
You know, I've never really loved Cannibal Corpse personally. I know you like Ace Ventura a lot, but that scene with him in the club there dancing around,
Hammer
smash face, that's amazing. But
dun, 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 yeah.
It's hilarious. But okay, so my number 6 is going to be Immortal, Sons of Northern Darkness.
Ooh.
From 2002. I really love when they started to incorporate the thrashy elements into here. So it's basically just like a combination of black metal and thrash metal. There is no Demonaz at this point. He did later come back to the band, but right now you got a Both doing vocals, guitar, Horg on the drums, who's a freaking machine. But One by One, the opening track on here, is my favorite Immortal song. It's my favorite Immortal song of all time. I do really like the early stuff as well, but I think this is their peak personally. So that is my number 6.
That's where we disagree on that one.
Yeah,
that's where we disagree. I love the
first
one. No, I love it, but
okay.
Diabolical's my favorite. But that album's still amazing. It's probably my second favorite. So yeah, can't really argue too much. But Immortal's amazing. All the albums are fucking good.
So. Yeah, they are. Yeah, except for Blizzard Beast is just.
That one's okay, but I don't hate it.
That's the one I rank at the bottom. I don't hate it, but it's fun. I'm like, it's kind of mediocre. The rest of them are great, really good. So
that's just one. It's like it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Next one is a band you don't like. Pretty sure. Behemoth is the next one for me. I think they got way better as time went on. People will argue me with this one. I don't give a fuck. The early stuff is black metal, which is great. But
I think the first 2 albums are the best personally. If I was going to listen to them.
So I'm the opposite, because the first 2 albums sound like every other black metal band, whereas as they progressed, they had their own identity. So from like Demigod, Evangelion, The Satanist, which is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. It'll be my top 10, I think. So I love them. I got the shirt for them, saw them on the tour for I Loved You at Your Darkest, which people hated as well. But I love that one. I love the theatrical stuff because it kind of, it's going to sound like sacrilege, kind of like power metal-y, kind of, with like, come to me, Batsabel, and O Father, O Satan, O Son, and those chanty choruses. I love that stuff more than the, subpar black metal, which other bands do it better. Like, I'd rather listen to Dark Throne than early Behemoth.
Fair enough, yeah.
It was going to, like, early Dark Throne, Burzum, any of them over Behemoth. But, there's going to be loads of people on your side for this one, I reckon. But for me, Satanist is where it's at. Back to you.
Nice. Cool. So my number 5 we're at here is going to be the self-titled Whitesnake album from 1987. Some kind of glam type metal here, but this is just freaking killer. You got John Sykes on guitar, who has some of the best guitar tone of all time. He's a freaking guitar god. David Coverdale, I think he's got a really good voice. He's a good frontman. Just really top to bottom here. This is an amazing album. Crying in the Rain and Bad Boys, first 2 songs, and you got Still of the Night, which
in the Still of the Night.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And then it's got like a cello solo or something like towards the end, which is just mesmerizing and epic. Give Me All Your Love is great. Is This Love is a pretty good ballad. Children of the Night, that's one of the best freaking opening riffs I can think of. And it's just a great album here. Get it the right way up. Whitesnake self-titled 87. That is my number 5.
Looked like it was your eye then when you held it up.
Yeah, which that one, they started in the late 70s as like a straight up bluesy 70s hard rock band. They kind of evolved their sound to fit in with the times, but they were one of the best at that point, and yeah, just great band.
Yeah, that's probably the best album in my opinion as well.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Where are we at?
Number 5.
5? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So my number 5 is Catatonia, which evolved from the Death Doom sound to this gothic kind of sound, and Jonas's vocals went from screaming to more mellow singing. A lot of people, again, going to argue me with this one, but I love every Catatonia album. But when he's singing cleanly, it's probably my favorite vocalist in all of metal. All of metal. Better than Opeth, even though it's my favorite band. Better than any of that shit. Jonas's vocals are majestic. I love it. Sends shivers down my spine whenever I listen to a single song from any of their albums. Albums like Last Fair Deal Gone Down, which is my favorite, which is the 5th one. Then Viva Emptiness, the concept album. Such a good album. Night is the New Day, Haunting. Love every newer Catatonia album, always brings it for me. And yeah, I just love the gothic flair he brings. So Catatonia is my next one.
Nice. I have not listened to them much, I'll be honest, but
you'd hate it.
Nice. What I
don't know. You might hate it. I don't know. We'll see. You should give them a chance.
Yeah, I will. But all right. So my number 4 is a band that this one will cause some division, I'm pretty sure, because the first guy, there's people that will only listen to this era of the band, and they act like the other eras just don't exist sometimes, and that is Black Sabbath. My choice is Heaven and Hell being their best album. The freaking like paper in there is like all crumpled up and looks stupid.
Yeah, what have you been doing with it?
I don't know. But this one I'm gonna kind of go with like what you've been going with. I love that album. That is my number 1. I think it's a masterpiece, but I really love a lot more of their later stuff. Headless Cross
is amazing.
Tony Martin. Yeah. Here.
Amazing.
I had the Eternal Idol right here. I'll just show real quick, but I did a Black Sabbath ranking a while back, and I had those first 3 Tony Martin albums as like 2, 3, and 4 in whatever order I had it, and Heaven and Hell number 1. So those are my top 4 Black Sabbath albums. I think they did get better later on. I don't know. I know people are gonna be pissed about that. Probably.
Yeah.
I do still like the Ozzy stuff. It's not like I hate it or anything. I just prefer a lot of this 80s and early 90s stuff. So yeah, that's my
I agree.
Number 4.
I agree with that.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of people, my Black Sabbath ranking is probably my most disliked ranking.
That's one of my most disliked too, but whatever.
Yeah, fuck them. Tony Martin's a great singer.
Dude, as long as Iommi's there, it is Black Sabbath to me. There's more albums there's more albums without Ozzy than there is with Ozzy, with Black Sabbath. There's 10 without him, 9 with him, and there's actually 11. There's 11 without him if you include the Heaven and Hell album from 2007. It is
fucking amazing. That one.
It is, yeah.
It's a great pick. He's got his chalky milk back.
Getting refreshed up here. Yeah.
It's like, fuck the haters. I got chalky milk. My next one, you're gonna completely disagree with me on again. Inquisition.
I like all their albums, but I do like those like first 3 like the best.
Again, this one is kind of the same as like Iron Maiden. I love all their albums, just like you said. But for me, my favorites are like Ominous Doctrines. That's my favorite, and that's the 5th one. And Bloodshed's amazing. And then the new one, Black Mass, I love. I keep playing that over and over again. I got the vinyl for it because I was like, I love it so much. I don't know why.
I ranked that one last. Just I still like it. Just it's like their most melodic and mellow album, though, I'd say.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
That's why I like it, because I love like Catatonia, Insomnium, all these depressing ass fucking mellow bands. So that's one of my favorites. But yeah, Inquisition have no bad albums, and they're all 10s. So fuck it. I
agree. Yeah,
I think they did get better. Yeah. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, they're great. So, all right. So my number 3 is going to be one. Really, this is a band that take the sleeve off. I wouldn't be surprised by any. You like their first album the best I know. It's your favorite death metal album of all time. We're going
Death
with the Death here, but Symbolic is my favorite, which is their second to last. And this is just amazing. Gene Hoglan on drums is killing it. Chuck Schuldiner, as usual, is a freaking genius. Top to bottom, is just a freaking masterpiece. Zero Tolerance, Empty Words, Sacred Serenity, 1,000 Eyes, Without Judgment, Crystal Mountain, Misanthrope, and Perennial Quest, and the title track. Really, that's a perfect album to me. So yeah, this is my favorite death metal album of all time. Symbolic, that was number 3.
Yeah. Inside Crystal Mountain. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's the song that's the song that got me into death metal.
Really?
Crystal Mountain by Epica.
Awesome. Shit. Chill.
I was listening to some symphonic shit, and then I was like, "Who the fuck is this deaf people? Why are they covering
they did a cover of it?
Yeah, Epica did a cover of Crystal Mountain.
I don't know if it was like their own song with the same name.
No. It's a cover. Okay. Def's version is way better. I mean, come on. But yeah, great pick. I love all Def albums again. So
yeah,
fuck it. It's still good. My next one, I don't know if you've explored. They are black metal. It's like proggy black metal. It's Enslaved.
I've listened to some. I like some of what I've heard. Really, I like the early stuff a bit better, I think. But
so I did an Enslaved. It's hard. I did the Enslaved ranking quite a while ago, and I had the first album top, and then I think I had the second album second. My list has completely fucking changed now. Completely fucking changed. I like the newer stuff now more, but the older stuff's still fantastic. But from like Ritter, Below the Lights, Isa, Axioma, all these songs, they're very proggy. They kind of went black prog, but I think there's more to digest in the newer songs than there is in the older ones. There's a lot more intricacies in the songs. They're a lot longer. It's like fucking 10 minutes, 11-minute songs. It's very proggy, very kind of slower in some of the parts. I don't know. I love Opeth, so the newer stuff kind of sounds similar to Opeth. So I kind of love it. But again, love the early stuff. Vikingla Vildi is still a masterpiece. So fuck it. Yeah. Enslaved. I think they got better, but they're still really goddamn good. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like their guitar player, Icedale. He's been on like several side projects I like a lot, like the Avhel album, King Avhel's like solo project, and he was on that Demon Az album that I like a lot, March of the Norse, I think it's called. But yeah, so my number 2 is going to be a band that you talked about earlier, and I'm going to go with there's a specific album that's my favorite by them, Somewhere in Time, Iron Maiden. This is their 6th album or whatever it is. But so the band formed in 75. This is 86. So, I mean, it's a decent bit into their career, even though looking back, it is kind of early in their career. It's 35 years old at this point, but fantastic album top to bottom. I love the kind of use of the synthesizers and stuff that they started bringing in here, which some people don't like, but I think it just sounds amazing. Opening song, Caught Somewhere in Time, is amazing. Wasted Years, Sea of Madness, Heaven Can Wait. Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner is fantastic in my opinion. Deja Vu, which I've ranked.
Deja Vu is amazing.
I had that in my top 5 Iron Maiden songs a while back when I did that video. Stranger in a Strange Land, Alexander the Great. Amazing guitar playing from Murray and Smith. Bruce sounds awesome, of course. Steve Harris, Nico McBrain. Killer album, number 2.
Can't argue. Love it. It's one of my favorites. It's probably my second favorite or third favorite. It always changes. Iron Maiden's hard, but it's in my top 3. Yeah. It's always going to be in my top 3 because I think out of every album, that's probably the most consistent. Every song's great. Mm-hmm. And some of the other albums, like Power Slave, which is my favorite, there are some songs where I'm kind of like, this is great, but it's not as good as some of the other songs on the album. Whereas in that album, I think every song is like really consistently good.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, great pick. So my number 2 is it, I think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my number 2 is Camelot. I don't know if you know Camelot.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah,
I like their first singer, Mark Vanderbilt, dude. Mark Vanderbilt, first album, Eternity.
I forgot.
That's my favorite Camelot.
So my top 2, just gonna slam him. My top 2 are bands where I think they were shit, and then they got better.
That's good. That singer, he sounds like Jeff Tate. And it sounds like Queensryche.
That's why. I'll get into Queensryche. I'll get into Queensryche one day. I like the EP.
Yeah.
I hated his vocals on the first 2 albums, and even the one where Roy came in, it's not that good. Even that one's not that very good either. But then from then onwards, and from the 5th album, which is I think Epica or Karma, one of them. From then onwards, it just got even better and better. Like Black Halo, and then Tommy came in with Haven, which is amazing. I think from then onwards with Epica, which is my favorite, they just got better and better and better. Ghost Opera is fantastic. So I just love the vocals from Tommy and Roy. And yeah, sorry. Sorry for the first 2 albums.
That's fine. You know, the way I got into them, I was at a store in my area and I was looking at the UC section. I didn't know Camelot and I saw that first album in there and I just looked at the back and they look cool. They had that like classic look and I was like, okay, I'll try this. And then I was like, damn, it's pretty good. But yeah, whatever.
I disagree on this one.
Fair enough. But okay, so my number 1, it's up on the wall behind me. If anybody can predict what it's going to be. But that is Painkiller, which I also have on cassette tape. Dude, freaking speed metal, you can call it, just a masterpiece, just aggressive, brutal stuff compared to what they were doing a little bit before with like Turbo and Ram It Down. And they
Don't
brought
talk
in
shit about Turbo.
I like both of those albums, but a lot of people will talk shit about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Painkiller is their masterpiece to me, top to bottom. They brought in Scott Travis on the drums, who was previously in a band called Racer X, just like speed metal band with Paul Gilbert on guitar. But dude, from that opening drum intro of the title track of the song, you just know it's going to be amazing. And that title track is probably my favorite Judas Priest song of all time. But dude, top to bottom, Metal Meltdown, All Guns Blazing, A Touch of Evil, Nightcrawler, Between the Hammer and the Anvil is a really good underrated one. But yeah, this is just amazing. Rob Halford, one of his best vocal performances. The guitar solo from Glenn Tipton in the title track, probably my favorite solo of his. Just amazing stuff. Whole band on fire. Painkiller, #1.
Hell yeah. I kind of agree, actually, because my favorite's Defenders of the Faith, and that's after the fifth one.
That is, it's weird, dude. They're so old. Like that Painkiller's over 30 years old, but it was still 20 years after they formed.
That's mental.
They formed in 1969. And yeah, Painkiller's like the 10th album. Yeah, dude, it's like the 10th album or whatever it is. It's already 30 years old. So
it doesn't seem that Painkiller seems newish, but at 20 years old, that's crazy.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so it was 20 years into their career. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like 31. It's 31 years old at this point. But I'm saying like they formed in 1969, so it was over 20 years after they formed. They put it out. So wild stuff.
Wild stuff. You need your chalky milk.
Running low, yeah.
So my #1 is, maybe you've heard of them. Don't know. It's Cattle Decapitation. For me, they're not my favorite band on this list, but in my opinion, they've changed the most. So I hated all the early albums by Cattle Decapitation. Very grindy, very messy, just kind of noisy, and I'm not really a big fan of it. It's kind of similar to Carcass, where I was not a big fan of the first couple, but then they went more melodic and I liked them more. Poser. But Cattle Decap, they did the same thing, but I think they improved way fucking more. From those first early albums to the newer albums like Death Atlas, Monolith of Inhumanity, and Anthropocene Extinction. Don't know how I remember them, but amazing. So much. I mean, the lyrics just got improved. His vocals are just insane. Travis's vocals are mental. One of the best vocalists in death metal. His high shrieks, his low growls, everything is fantastic. Songwriting improved, riffs improved, everything just fucking improved. So that's why they're the #1 on my list. Not my favorite, but they're the most improved band. So they're going as #1. Cattle Decapitation.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So can we go through some honorable mentions real quick?
Yeah, let's fire off some honorable mentions.
All right. Really the main one. All right, there's actually two I wanted to talk about. I've got Kiss Asylum, which I know that early 70s Kiss is great too, which this is over 35 years old at this point. But yeah, I like the non-makeup era a bit better. So like this one, Crazy Nights, are a couple of my favorites. No, shit. I like Crazy Nights. You got Bruce Kulick on guitar. Bruce Kulick is just shredding all over like this album, Crazy Nights, whatever else he's on. King of the Mountain on here is great. Trial by Fire, I'm Alive. So, I did rank this my #1 Kiss album, so I got to mention it real quick. And one that I'm kind of on the fence about if I want to include, but I like the early stuff a lot as well. But the Infernal Pathway by 1349 is really killer, dude. Through Eyes of Stone was possibly my favorite song by them. Frost on the drums is a freaking machine. But yeah, I like most of this band's material, but this one I've listened to the most and is probably my favorite. Yeah, it's mostly what I got. So, anything from you?
So I was going to mention Judas Priest again, just reiterate what you said. I do think from fifth album onwards, just killer fucking albums. I mean, Defenders of the Faith, Painkiller, even Firepower, and the one I'm forgetting. There was another one. The Eagle. The fuck is it? It's yellow.
Scream of
Vengeance.
Oh, Scream of Vengeance. Oh, shit. I thought we were talking about like just now.
Oh, no, Screaming. Yeah. Amazing album. Goddamn amazing album. So yeah, Judas Priest. Another one for me. So yeah, that about wraps it up for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Any last words?
No, man. Just thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thank you again, Bryce, for coming on the show. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.